listening discretion is advised. There will be swearing, inappropriate adult humor, and probably some graphic medical procedures. Listen at your own risk.
From day one, you fought for your life, and you blew everyone away.
Hello.
Hi,
Welcome to Changing the Chances.
I'm Jesse,
I'm Alisha.
and welcome back. If you're a new listener, we hope you will go back to the beginning and start this from the beginning. But if you're a return listener, welcome back.
Great.
I'm back this week.
He is.
How
much fun is that?
It was very cool to hear the podcast and be a listener and not be a part of the recording. So
I know it was a surprise for you too.
yeah. Got to hear it the other day, and I think it turned out great. I thought it was a great podcast, and
I think it turned out great.
yeah, it was really good. Pipes hung out. Me and Pipes hung out with Papa upstairs, and we watched Terminator 2. I'll be back. She liked it because of all the shooting and explosions and stuff.
I
Like, she
know.
was into it.
That's who she is.
No, that's my girl.
She loves a good explosion.
I love a good explosion. So, what are we going to talk about today, sweetie?
Well, in true Changing the Chances fashion, I feel like last week, I won't say it was like light and fluffy, but it was a pretty light,
It's so fluffy.
easygoing podcast. So, this week,
It was pretty
naturally,
lighthearted.
I feel like I need to bring it down a bit.
Oh.
I don't feel like I need to. It just happens that way. Here we are. More of a serious subject, and
Just rip the Band-Aid off kind of subject. Is that what we're going with?
sure,
Just rip that Band-Aid off.
rip it off.
Fuck it.
So this week we're going to talk about religion,
Spirituality,
God, however you want to see it. I do want to say before we dive right on in no way, shape, or form are we coming after anybody who is religious, who believes in God, who everybody
we are
has.
not demeaning your beliefs
Not
in
at all.
any way.
Not at all. We are literally just going to have a conversation about our journey through this experience and the feelings it has brought to light for us and
Our feelings about
yes,
maybe some things. And
because if you have been around, you know that we are not religious
no,
people,
we are definitely more spiritual than religious.
but we definitely have gone through some things in the last 8 years with this whole experience of becoming parents that has made us rethink different things or face certain subjects, and just it's brought a lot around, I think, that's worth exploring and talking about, because maybe we're not the only people. I don't really know.
I get that. I do know, or at least in my experience, it seems like a lot of families with special needs individuals amongst these families that are very religious, and
And I definitely
I try to wrap my brain around it because I try to see it from their point of view. And I get that some people, everybody needs that. That's why there's religion all over the world and so many different religions is because the human race needs it. I feel like the human race needs to have this higher belief that there is something else.
Well, and I understand
guiding your life.
I do understand it. For one, in my own experiences, I think religion is good because some people need something that kind of guides them through life as on how to be, or
this is
kind
of like the life path that you should be on to be a good person or whatever.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing at all.
Trust me, I'm somebody who loves a good rule, okay? I promise you, I love a rule, I love a guideline, I love you point me in the direction, I like that, which sounds crazy because my brother's looking at me like I'm nuts.
and I just want to say that, I was raised in a Christian home.
You were raised in a Christian home.
I was raised in a Christian home.
Very much so, yes.
And
I was raised in an LDS neighborhood. I was not raised LDS. I'm very specific, but I was raised in a very, very LDS community. So that's kind of where I was raised around.
See, and when I was younger, we we went to some outlandish, so to speak, like almost like stuff that you would see in TV. Some of it's legit.
Almost like when I watch it, like that can't be real. And Jesse's like, no, I've been to those places.
I'm telling
exist.
you, they exist. It's legit. You know, where the people are talking in tongues and running up and down the aisles and messing with snakes and stuff. And it's like,
it sounds intense.
You're brave.
Like, that's intense.
You know, and it just made me think about all of it when we watched that movie on Netflix, The Devil All the Time or something.
All the Time.
And I was just like, wow, I have not thought of a church scene like this since I was a kid, you know, and that was based in like West Virginia area, stuff like that. So,
I mean, and if you think about it, that's like some
deep faith right there.
Deep faith, like intense. It is. It is. And I am very good at seeing two sides of most things.
You've always been really good about that.
I'm very good at it when I step back and I can objectively kind of like look at both sides. And so I do understand the need for faith. I understand the need for religion. I understand all that, and I understand why people have it. And it's so weird because I've never been religious. I wasn't raised that way. My parents always were very open and said, you do whatever feels good for you, basically. If you believe in this and you want to do this, then great. But do it for you. Don't do it because somebody told you should do it.
I didn't have that option.
So even like to this day, and maybe I feel like I struggle because, and maybe I'm just not realizing that I know that I'm way more spiritual, but finding the place where I fit in that.
I get that because even growing up in a Christian home, with my background, you know, like I've read the Bible and, you know, it says in the Bible that children are the apple of God's eye. Okay. Well, with my background and what I've seen and been through and stuff like that, it was like I questioned everything about religion and Christianity almost immediately just because of my own background. And as I got older, you know, I think I was probably maybe 12 or 14. And I finally told my mom, I'm like, I'm not going to church anymore. I'm not doing this. I don't live that life. I don't believe in that life. Yeah. And you're not going to make me do this anymore. Like, nuh-uh. Because unlike your parents, I didn't have a choice. It was like, it's Sunday, you're going to church. Like, put on your Sunday best. This is happening, you know, and it's just what it was. And I dreaded every minute of it because it was just like, I've always questioned. Yeah. How can all these people just put so much like blind faith into something?
But if you think about it, maybe not, maybe I'm second guessing this all of a sudden, but I feel like there's probably lots of things that you put your blind faith into that you don't really realize that's what you're doing.
Oh yeah, you do it every time you get into your car.
Agreed, because you think
you have faith that your vehicle is in good condition and it's going to get you to your destination.
You're in control and that you're all these things, but in reality, you know, there is no control. There is no
control is straight up an illusion.
So you
don't have control over your own body. I mean, you can control what
that brings that into question. But you know, you're having faith that if you eat right and you make good choices, that you're going to live a good life and things are going to be good. But
then life comes and pisses in your Cheerios when you're 35 and you have a heart attack and die.
But then you also just.
Because then it's like, where's that? Like you were this, you know, great person, straight A student, religious, you know, were all these good things. You ate right, exercised, and did all these things, no health problems. You go out for a jog, you're 35, you have a heart attack, collapse, and die. Like, come on.
Well, and I definitely could be wrong, but this is just how it feels, like how it's perceived in life, that there are these amazing people, really good people who get terrible things happen to them or people they know, and it just is like, but why? But why?
So growing up, like in Christianity, it's essentially tests to test your faith. And to me, that just is bullshit. Like, I just don't get it. Like, where was the test when I was born from a prostitute birth mom into a drug-induced life?
Yeah.
And, like all these hardships right off
like
the bat.
You didn't get a choice.
I didn't even get a choice in the matter.
You were just thrown
I was just thrown into it.
Yeah.
So, like, why,
yeah. Well, and I think that kind of brings us to, like, our situation.
Yeah.
It's like, what did Piper and Caleb do? Like, what did they do to deserve what's going on with them?
Well, exactly.
And I know that you have to step back and you have to, like, realize it's not about punishment, or it's not about what they deserve or don't deserve. And, bad things happen because we need to learn compassion, and you can't have good without bad. And,
I thought it was like karma coming back to me.
Yeah.
For being a shitty person and all the stuff I had done when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, was that punishment?
Yeah.
But then, why would you be getting punished? Why would she be getting punished? That's not fair.
Refuse to believe that there is a higher power that would put Piper in the situation she's in to punish you. Like, that's not that. Right. I refuse to believe that that's even a thing. There's just no way that can't. And on my plane of existence, that can't be a thing.
I mean, but when it first happened.
I get it. Yeah,
it was just like, this got to be my fault. Like, it's I'm being punished for whatever.
Yeah.
And hindsight's 20/20, and I know that's not the case now, but it just in the moment I did. I was like, I'm being punished for just being the bastard that I was and doing all the things and being the hellion like I did. And then it took me a while of thinking about it, and it's like, why would you be punished? Mm-hmm. Because of, it doesn't make sense. And I may not believe in, like, God, but whatever is there, if there is there, mm-hmm. I can't, like you said, I can't imagine them to be so cruel.
Yeah. And that's what that feels like when you look at it that way. Like,
but I also struggled when Caleb passed, and everybody, I mean, even when the twins came early, before Caleb passed, mm-hmm. and everybody was like, oh, this is part of God's plan. Fuck that bullshit.
Agreed. I'm not into that. I'm not into that at all.
That's horse shit. What about my plan?
I feel like that's, I do know when people say that it comes from a good place. They're trying their best.
They are. And it's very
to offer comfort
difficult.
And
to offer
to give
compassion.
You a reason that's not there. Like,
I don't have an answer for you, so this must be part of God's plan. And it's just like,
and I'm not
I can't
into
accept.
that.
I can't accept that answer. I'm sorry.
I'm agreed. I'm right there with you. I'm not into it. I never felt like, my personal feelings is I never felt punished. That was never a thought in my head. I just couldn't wrap my head around the idea of, like, these children who literally have done nothing but be conceived. Like, but why? Like,
well, and the thing about it too is I was just trying to find a way to justify.
You are, because you're trying, like, some really big emotions.
Yeah, and
that you're trying to work through.
This has got to be on me. Like
it doesn't actually make you feel better.
No,
it doesn't make you feel any better.
But still, like, I could have known, like, if I could have just justified it and been like, this is because of me, mm-hmm. like, as opposed to just, well, this shit just went sideways because it just went sideways. Like,
yeah, like,
but now that
happens.
It just, like, it is what it is. Like, but when we lost Caleb, I remember I had a lot of emotions, mm-hmm. and I prayed and I talked out loud, and I know, like,
and isn't that, and that's what I find so, like I don't want to say crazy or, like, conflicting, but it's like these things happen. We are not religious, but when something of this magnitude happens, the urge to pray or to...
I feel like it's almost primal.
To like talk to whoever is out there, like...
Well, and that's what I did. Like, and there was no talking involved. Like, I went out into a parking lot.
I'm sure you were yelling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. I went out into a parking lot and I had my say. So I said my piece and I yelled my piece, actually. But it just because it was. I feel it's a primal thing because it's like whatever's out there. Spirits, powers to be, God, Buddha, Allah, whatever. You know, like it just... How can you let this happen?
Yeah.
Like, these children did nothing wrong. You did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. You know, and then, but for people to try and like, well, it's God's plan. And,
right.
You know, every God does things for a reason. And
this is the point where like, I can see both sides when you're saying stuff like that. Like, I obviously... sad, anger, every emotion when it comes to losing Caleb and Piper going through the things she goes through every day. That feels incredibly unfair to her. But she also has like taught so many people.
So much.
Like patience and love in a different way.
Patience, courage, love,
you know,
understanding.
I think that she's changing us as people. And
I have thought, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
I have thought to myself, maybe some of the things that happened to me when I was younger did prepare me for her.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense.
Okay.
Granted, she still humbles me daily and reality checks me to my core. But I do, because I can't imagine not being in her world. Can't even, like, they're hell or high water. There's no way. Like, you would have to put me down to keep me from her. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
You know, and my birth mom essentially gave up 3 kids, 3 drug babies. Like, it just, and I've never been able to fathom it. And now being a parent myself, it's just like, and I messed around with a lot of drugs when I was younger.
We talked about this. Yes.
The one that I did not was the one that my birth mom was strung out on, but it gets its hooks in you and it's crazy, but geez, man, I can't imagine not being in her world. Yeah. So I do, there's times where I think like, whatever higher power there is or whatever, maybe kind of let all that stuff happen knowing down the road. I was going to have
if you want to go to the whole like God has a plan and it's all worked out. Like, right. No, I hear you. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like it's easy. It's not easy, but to see both sides, like I can.
Yeah. And I try to.
It's easy to look back and go, okay, well, if that's the case, then maybe all these things happen because it led me to here. And
yeah.
But,
in the moment, I don't.
No. In the moment, like there's just not.
No. And that's why I say hindsight's 20/20. Like I can sit back and think on it now and look on both sides of the fence and whatnot, but I mean, it does humble you when a situation of this magnitude arises.
Yeah.
And I think people just find themselves, whether you're religious, spiritual, atheist, whatever, like I feel that you just find yourself reaching out for whatever.
Yeah.
Just trying to grasp at
at
anything.
I can understand the comfort you can get from that, because if you are like deeply rooted in your faith, being able to have some form of an answer to help deal with what's happening.
Well, it's essentially sense? Like the way I've kind of always viewed it is it's like guidelines, like that you're able to see like, well, if I'm within these guidelines, I'm doing okay.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying like when terrible things are happening and everything's going wrong, to be able to have those guidelines, those rules from your faith to say, okay, well, God does have a plan. So if he has a plan, there's a reason why this is happening. So it must be something that I'm supposed to learn. It must be something
Well,
I'm
honestly,
supposed to help teach somebody else. It's something that is going to make her stronger, or, like it's
I get that.
to help with the answers to something that I feel is unanswerable.
But honestly, I feel like if you're just open-minded enough to just think of it like that, like, what can I get from this situation? Yes, it sucks. It's shitty, but what do I learn from this situation? How do I grow from this situation? I don't know. I feel like there's just so many questions, and in a lot of religions, it's just like, well, that's Allah's plan. That's God's
You're
plan.
just supposed
You're
to have
just
faith.
supposed to have
And I
faith,
think
and
that's
it's
the
like
hardest
yeah.
part, which sounds crazy because that's the whole purpose. But like to just have faith that is the plan. It's so hard.
Well, it is hard, and
I mean, I guess it's supposed to be. I can't imagine it's supposed to be easy.
I don't feel that I need to be a part of a religion to set life guidelines to be a good person.
Yeah.
Not to steal, not to kill or rape or things like that. It's like I go to work, I pay my taxes, I take care of my family.
Yeah.
Try to pay it forward and just be humble, be kind. I haven't always been humble and kind. That's something that Alisha and Piper has taught me, but it also is just
I've taught you that?
Yeah, a little bit. It's funny what you can teach me. But yeah, I think that I don't need a said religion to live a life or have those guidelines tell me that I'm a good person and that I'm going to a good place when I die, and whatever the case may be. But I also see that people do benefit from it when things arise and things happen, and it's like, their religion and their faith they can turn to, and it's good for them. But I've just always questioned everything.
Yeah, I get that. I think the majority of the time, I just stand in this place where I'm not ever going to be comfortable thinking that one religion has all the answers that are right. I don't think that that's a thing for me. So kind of like you were saying, just I believe that I can be a good person and do good things without feeling like I have to, because I could be punished or I could go to hell, or like
that you can be a decent human being without it falling under like almost like it being mandatory, like you have to do this because if not you're going to hell or you're going to purgatory.
Well, and the thing is
whatever,
we're humans. We're gonna screw up. It's like
but then you have to like ask for forgiveness, and
well, it depends on I don't know all. There's just so many, and I don't know all.
I'm not going to get into it. I'm not even going to try.
That's probably smart. I just got a thumbs up, so I must be right. It is smart. But when things get hard, and I don't think it's ever going to go away, that I will always question or wonder or be confused and lost and ask whatever higher being, like, the hell are you doing? Like, what are you thinking?
Well, and and it also says in the Bible that God does not give you more than what you can handle. Well, if that's the case, God must think we're fucking badasses.
Well, this person definitely thinks that Piper's a badass because
I'm like,
I mean, and she is. I will not take that away from her. She is a badass, but it is I feel as a person that it is too much task.
I feel the same
of
way.
A child.
I think it's too much task for anyone, even an adult. I mean, it's not been easy on any of us, me, you, anybody else in the family. Like it, she has touched everyone.
Yeah.
And in their lives, in her life, and when something crappy happens, it affects us all.
You are correct. It does very much.
But yeah, there are certain things that I think of just, and it's like, no, that's not right. It just doesn't make sense.
So this thing about religion, spirituality, all this stuff is being what we've gone through. I have to believe.
You tell me. You got an opinion over there? Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad it's a happy opinion.
You say your opinion. You speak your piece, child. Yeah, it's a big smile. Oh, yeah.
But just everything we've gone through at this point, I have to believe that there's something on the other side. Whether there is or isn't, whatever that looks like, because I have to know that we'll see Caleb again.
I get that. Like, sometimes I think about that movie with Robin Williams, What Dreams May Come.
Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, it was a good movie.
Excellent. Phenomenal movie. Great movie. And I love the concept that, he gets to see his kids, and it's his kids, but it's not his kids, like they take on whatever form that they want, or, whatever. It's his version of his heaven, and great movie. But there's a part of me that has to believe, I mean, we're energy. Our essence, our being, our soul, whatever you want to call it, it's energy, and you can't destroy it. And even when you die, it just transfers. It's got to go somewhere, whether it's out into the universe, to heaven, hell, whatever you want to call it. Like, but I'm with you. Like, there's got to be something. There's got to be more after this.
I can't fathom another way.
Whether multiple lives and reincarnation is a thing, or you're one and done, and you go to one place or the other, or whatever the case is, or you leave this body and hollow shell and traverse through the universe as pure energy, like whatever the case is. Like, I've got to believe at some point I'm gonna get to see Caleb again.
That's how I feel. And if I don't, then hopefully, if we just die and we go nowhere, then at least I won't know. So
you hope.
But on this point,
side.
I have to. That's what
on
I
this
have
side of
to
the
believe.
fence.
That's what gives me some semblance of comfort. That will never be something that I'm comfortable with, but I have to believe that. There just is not another option for me. So that is one thing I'm steadfast in all the time.
Well, there's gotta, I think that Piper can see him. Like, honestly, like, I believe that when she's just hanging out in a room and she just starts laughing at absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
There's no music, no TV. We're not talking, like, just nothing. She's just, one of us is sitting on the couch on her phone, and the other one got up, went in the kitchen, get something to drink, and she just starts losing it. And it's like, she's giving you the same reaction that she gives you when she's playing with me, or playing with you, or playing with Grams. Like, she's playing with somebody.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly believe it's Caleb. His essence, his energy, his soul, his spirit, whatever
that looks like.
Yeah. But, I believe, especially with her being a twin, she's got that connection.
Yeah.
And
something I'll never understand, obviously, because I'm not a twin. So,
well, if I'm correct, I'm sure they've done studies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
there's
with
all
twins and stuff, where it's like, they are just super connected. So, yeah, I'm thoroughly convinced that she still plays with her brother, and that he, hangs around, watches over her, whatever it may be.
I mean, I hope that he does. So, we weren't, just like I said in the beginning, we weren't trying to offend anybody. I think that it's great if you are religious and you have so much comfort in whatever that brings you. I think that's great.
No, we were just wanting to touch base, it's just something that.
Well, and like on our struggles, because even though
Yeah.
I'm not religious, I obviously still struggle. I still ask the questions. I still wonder. I still am trying to find comfort in the big picture that I don't know. Like,
Yep.
and it's a lot. I do think it would be easier if I could just, and maybe I'm wrong, because again, I don't know, but it feels like it would just be easier if I could just commit to it and be like, I fully believe these things and that's that. But my brain does not work that way because I can see all the sides and I just can't. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be my struggle with that in my journey of learning about being Piper's mom.
Well, the journey of being one of Piper's parents is definitely, it's been a teaching experience.
It did, most definitely.
All around.
Most definitely. That's
humbling, teaching, just all the things. And I can't even begin to describe how many more questions arose for me, because I've questioned everything my entire life.
Yeah.
But when all this shit hit the fan, it was just
more.
Yeah.
Just more.
Yep.
And yep. Yeah.
So I'm right there with you, because I don't think I could ever fully invest into something like that, like it's feel that utter and total complete, just, it's cool.
And I do know that people obviously struggle. I've heard the struggles people have had, and I've read some amazing stories on how they've found their faith again, and it's amazing. Yeah. And I think that that's great. And I'm with you. I don't know that I will ever be in that space, which could be a total bummer. I don't know. I don't know.
It just is what it is. I mean, it's, I don't think it's good, bad, or indifferent for people to
just
feel one way. Yeah. I'm like, it's, it just like everything else in the world nowadays is, it's like, you know what? That's your choice.
Yeah. And if it helps you, then great.
Yep. It's religion, politics, sexuality, all of it. It's your choice. And you know what? It was just, honestly, it was just a topic that we wanted to touch base on. Yeah. And, by no means are we judging anyone.
Not at all.
By anything.
Not at all.
We're the last people.
If you've been listening.
Yeah.
We are the last people who should judge anybody, first of all. So.
But we just wanted to, kind of touch base with that and talk about it. But we just want to make sure that everyone understands that we're not lashing out. We're not bashing anybody. We're not demeaning anything by any means.
I want you to do you. Whatever makes
Yep. You do you, boo-boo. Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
That's
kudos.
Great. Kudos to you, because everyone deserves to be happy.
Agreed.
In whatever form that is.
Yep.
So long as it's not imposing on another one's rights.
I mean, obviously there are lines. I don't believe in murdering, but
exactly. But
let's not go drastic, people. Yeah. There are lines, but yes.
But with all that being said, I think that pretty much covers that episode. And thanks again for coming back and listening to us. We love you all.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week.
We'll talk to you next week.
Well, yeah, we're going to have to implement some kind of fee or something.
Nobody wants to see this face crying, okay?
I do.
Trust me, you don't want to see this face crying.
No, I don't.
I know you don't.
Because it's a blood-brain mess. It's
disgusting. I know. You just love me because I'm your wife. You don't love this face. It's not cute when it looks like this. So
anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.